Hey guys, what is happening, and welcome to this video. So I'm here in Northeast Calgary to be specific, and I am in this huge development, absolutely massive. The scale of this thing, it's just not going to do justice on the camera. Basically, from where I'm stood all the way as far as the eye can see, about 30 kilometers that way or 20 kilometers that way is as far as this development stretches. All of these houses all the way around are new homes. These are new condos, new townhomes. The townhomes that are just behind me right here are currently for sale. They've been built and financed, and a number of them are for sale. The thing is, guys, a lot of people are driving past right now really slowly, and they're looking out the window at the house that they've purchased, and they just can't wait to get in there. And that's the typical emotional home buyer, you know. It's such an emotional thing, buying your first home. Oh my gosh, like I need it so bad. I'm so happy not to be renting, and it's so exciting. And people do this, like lots of people do this who buy a new home. They will go around the subdivision, drive around and watch it be built, you know, because they find it interesting. Show the kids and go, look kids, this is going to be our new home. This subdivision will never probably be finished, and let me tell you why. The thing is, guys, we're about to head into a massive credit crisis, and little do people know, I know you guys know, that this is huge, and the ramifications of this credit crisis will be massive. And a lot of the builders that are building right here now will go bankrupt. They will no longer exist. The development will just stop and grind to a halt. And many people will just be left living in a half-built development that never gets properly finished. And you know, the same things happened in the United States in 2008. There was subdivision after subdivision that was never completely built. And if you were the unlucky person that actually lived on that subdivision, well, you know, it was really bad news for you, because all the utility lines, all the internet lines that went to the subdivisions were poorly maintained, because basically they weren't getting the money out of it because there wasn't as many customers as were meant to be using those lines. So they were a loss for the utility companies and also the internet companies. But people forget stuff like that. And you know, all these homes that are right here, one after another, I think these are like duplex townhomes that are being built. So one's like the ones right behind me there, and the ones over there. So they're, you know, they're going to be fairly inexpensive compared to most houses in Canada. You're probably talking like $400,000 for one of those. And the thing is, people are going to be like, well, you know what, it's cheap here, so prices aren't going to go down. You know what, Calgary is growing, there's lots of immigrants coming here, so prices aren't going to go down. The immigrants have no money. This is why they move to the cheapest areas of the city. This is the cheapest area of the city, so this is why all the immigrants move here. And it's kind of funny, guys, because, well, it's not funny, it's actually horrific and sad. But the thing is, when it really comes down to it and you boil it down to just the basics, you're going to have to realize, and people are going to have to wake up to the fact that the entire economy here in Canada revolves around the asset bubbles that are the stock market and the real estate market. And in Canada, it's mainly the real estate market. In the United States, it's the stock market and the real estate market equally so, I would say. This is huge because this subdivision, I just can't tell you the scale of this thing. It's absolutely massive. You know, the thing is, guys, debt costs are going up. Builders are taking risks financing projects like this. You know, I get all kinds of stupid comments on the videos now. But in one of the videos that I did at the Cardell Homes lot, somebody commented on it saying, you know, something about the homes not being built and financed, and they were like, oh yeah, they did it there, but they don't do it anywhere else. They're doing it right here. These homes right here are a different builder, and they're all financed, these townhomes. They've all got for sale signs in front of them. And it just makes me laugh because people are now trying to make excuses up of why Calgary home prices are still going to go up whilst the rest of the country goes into recession. I mean, it clearly shows to me that people have lost their minds. They have no idea about the macro environment here in Calgary and here in Alberta specifically. You know, Alberta was in a recession for many years. Multiple booms and busts have left their scars on the economy here, and the scars are massive private debt levels of businesses. So Alberta is going to be one of the highest, experiencing the highest bankruptcies of businesses of any province, and thus it will have one of the highest unemployments of any province. So the thing is, it is ludicrous that people are trying to basically say, oh yeah, everything's going to be okay because the liberal media is telling me that everything's going to be fine. Well, the thing is, when you actually read between the lines of the liberal media, you realize that they're really showing Calgary, and it always seems to be Calgary, not the rest of Alberta, just Calgary, because they want more left-wing voters to move to Calgary. They want more left-wing voters here, and that will mean that there's less chance of federal conservatives getting in. That's what they're trying to do. But they do it by the funniest methods. They'll say like, oh, you know, these tech companies are moving to Calgary, and then they fail to mention all the companies that are moving away from Calgary. So, you know, it does make me laugh, guys, I gotta say, because at the end of the day, these things are gonna play out. They're gonna play out in due course. I don't need to be right because you guys are gonna see it play out. And it ain't about being right. It's not about being right or wrong. It's just about probabilities. You know, if a province has a high amount of private debt, if corporations have a high amount of private debt, then that means that they're largely exposed to higher interest rates and higher interest rate costs. And that's exactly what they're going to be exposed to over the next year. And they're not going to be able to handle that. They're going to go bankrupt. People are going to lose their job. The unemployment rates have bottomed out everywhere now. The asset bubbles have topped out everywhere. And people haven't seen the writing on the wall. They're still looking for excuses. They're still looking for that golden shining knight in just a sea of knights made out of mud. You know, that was the worst metaphor I've ever used, I think, on this channel. But yeah, anyways. You know what? It's kind of sad that that's the way. Like, I wish I could be more optimistic in some ways, guys, and say, yeah, this is going to be fantastic, booming economy here and everything like that. But it's just not the case. Like, I'm not going to stand here and lie to everybody and just try and say things that are just not true. They're just absolutely not true. You know, people are inherently stupid by nature. They will always try and rationalize things that they know were probably bad financial decisions. And that's what I see a lot of the time in the comments sections, unfortunately. It's very easy to see when somebody is biased for some reason, like they're moving to Alberta or they're moving to Canada, so they have a bias because they're seeing things with those rose-tinted glasses. You know, you just have to look at the finer details of things and you begin to realize that, hey, there are some things going on. So before we end the video, since you guys hooked on, I'm going to see if I can get, I don't know what these, I think these are something to do with the foundation, if I remember right, these things. But oh yeah, I could get around. But here are all these homes. So, you know, here they all are. And lots of people are going to be moving into these homes at some point. And how's that going to go? I don't think it's going to go very well. I really don't. Looks like they've just been built, these. Literally just got to add the finishing touches to them and then they'll be good to go. But anyway, guys, sad times for a lot of people. FOMO has led them down the garden path. the pandemic has led them down the garden path, because it has played with their emotions, and just for a lot of people it's going to destroy them. And I hate to say that, and it's going to lead to a depression, guys. I'm revising what I said before, which was it was going to be a recession. I think it's going to be a depression, because I just think there are so many people that have got lulled into a false sense of security over this 2-3 year period, and they're just going to lose everything. It's going to devastate them, and that inflation is going to be going up at such a pace. It's a recipe for disaster. We've never had a recipe like this since the 1920s, since the late 1920s. And how did that work out for everybody, guys? It worked out with the Great Depression. So anyway, guys, I will see you in the next video. Take care of yourselves. Peace and love, guys. Bye-bye.